Welcome to another episode of Well-Adjusted Mama. I'm your host, Dr. Laura Brayton, and today's guest is Jaguar Womban, speaking on Wombnation. Jaguar is a multidimensional healing artist, medicine Womban, and visionary mother of the Wombnation. She's an intuitive herbalist, ancestral channel, poet, and teacher who shares ways to connect to Mother Earth using plant medicine and ceremony. And both her private TEAsessions and the Circle of Light Woman Circle, Jaguar teaches how to use the unique self-care ritual of WombSteaming as a ritual of prayer and a sacred tool to awaken our innate womb wisdom and divine internal guidance system. Jaguar's journey into the mystical began when she was struck by a car while on foot and had a near-death experience that left her in a coma with a diagnosis of traumatic brain injury. This began her healing journey of relearning walking, talking, reading, writing, and social skills. She was first shuffled through traditional Western medicine and rehabilitation, and after not obtaining the healing she had desired, sought out a path of her ancestral traditions. On her journey, she experienced a solo pilgrimage of spiritual and physical transformation and formed the lighthouse vibration to bring the power of these life-changing rituals and her unique Jaguar medicine to womb carriers worldwide. Jaguar is a Yoga Alliance certified Hatha yoga instructor, as well as a Thai yoga bodywork practitioner and attuned healer. And she also has a master's in creative writing poetry and is a published poet and powerful performer. In both her healing work and creative expression, she incorporates her study and practice of shamanism, Sanskrit mantra, sound healing, breath work, ancestral plant medicine, movement, and ceremony. For more information, check out her website at wombnation.org. Hi, Jaguar. Welcome to the show. I'm very excited to have you here today.
I'm excited to be here.
So this is going to be a really fun episode for Well-Adjusted Mama. We're going to go to another dimension in this episode. So I would love for you to just share a little bit about like who you are. I love how you're described as a multidimensional healing artist. What does that even mean? And like, what's your story?
I know. I'm always like, what is my brief bio? And then I make up these ultra poetic words that don't really give anyone clarity. But for me, I'm trying to encapsulate the aspects of my journey that are multidimensional. You know, I'm referring to that the catalyst for the work I do as a medicine woman, you know, and as an artist, it comes from my storyline of being a poet who experienced a near-death experience, as they call it. I call it a death experience because that's more what it was than a near-death experience. It was like a death and return, and it was following, and in my case, it was somebody running me over with a car when I was walking. And then, you know, my first memory being like re-entering, really seeing this physicality of this body from above and being so immersed in the totality of the whole that is that out of body experience, you know, just feeling that you're in the ether, which really feels like a womb frequency, like this source space that is so adjacent to the physical realm and just feels like the place where everything is being born from, you know. And then I'm already going off on a tangent, but in the Science of Wealth, Wallace D. Wattles says, you know, there is a thinking stuff that is in the interspaces of all things, and a thought formed in that substance will create that which you have imagined by the thought. And from those writings, you know, we've all made the movement of like The Secret and like vision boards and manifesting, that type of language comes from this new thought movement. And what they were working with was this substance that is in between all things. So the multidimensional healing aspect is because I really feel like I emerged from that substance that is in between the things that are physical, you know. But what happened in the physical realm was I was just walking down the street and a woman passed out with her foot on the gas. She was 79 and she had a blood sugar issue, and she first hit a car that was driving, and then she hit me and I was on foot, so it was extra dramatic. She trapped me under the hood. She kept going. She drove through the front of a restaurant, which dislodged my body and sent me flying. And when the paramedics found me, my head had split on the left side, and I had on this side, which is the right side, and I was clinically dead. So that's the police report. And at that time, I was a poet. I was completing my master's in poetry, and I was writing this poetic exploration of a woman in the liminal space who like miscarries her child on this journey through the desert and becomes this goddess of the liminal space. So in a way, it's like I poetically lived my way into my master's thesis. Something kind of magical with that happened. We probably should explore some more, but so I flew through the air, and that's the police report. So what I remember is the frequency of being what we call dead, you know, which is just, it's like looking at this from a space in between this, you know, it's not far away. It's like right there. And then being guided and shown this body, but as though I was over it, looking down on it. And the angelic presence with me, the non-physical guide, I guess is what we would call it now, like a very kind of Saint Germain kind of energy, but was like, go in this body and complete your work. And then also the feeling of just like a knowing that that was going to be a really hard thing to do, and a resistance to doing it, and just feeling like, I don't want to go in that body and complete the work. I'd rather stay here. And then just like go in this body and complete the work. And then the feeling of the crown, like the head kind of softening, like opening in a magnetic pull, and just feeling like pulled inside and like locked in, and like the perspective shifting to looking now out from the body instead of on it, like at it from above. And then what that is essentially summarizing is a 10-year journey of healing. I'm in my 11th year since my death experience. So when I first came back, I mean, they said that I would never walk unassisted. I couldn't walk, talk, read, write, nothing. I was just like baby, coma, reborn. I was saying words, but they didn't have linear meaning. And I didn't have broken bones, but my brain cognitively couldn't conceptually understand the concept of writing or of eating or of pooping or of sleeping or of any of it. So it was a reboot that happened for me. And when I look back on it now from the perspective of the work I do, I see it as a really potent, beautiful spiritual experience, because it's like I was feeling like I was all things. I was feeling like I was the tree and the flower and nature and Mother Earth. And that is the energy I think that I share with women in the work. It's like they get into the auric field of my experience and kind of tap into that frequency of being one with Mother Earth and being nature and all that is. But at the time of the car accident, I did not have the perspective of like a spiritual awakening. I was just a person trying to figure out how to walk from here to the bathroom. So it was just like very confusing, very painful, and a lot of therapy. So standard therapy, not like Reiki, magical juju therapy, like physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, trauma counseling, a lot of medications. In the midst of all this, where I'm not sure who I am or the significance of my name, or what is happening in the physical realm, I'm seeing this jaguar. And it's like the clearest thing of all the things was the jaguar. And she would come, she would sit with me, and she'd be like, "You're Jaguar woman. Like, what's going on?" I didn't have this social structure awareness to not articulate freely to others that I was seeing a jaguar. Because for me, the jaguar, and also like the person's grandmother who was dead on their left side, like those were more shiny and clear and potent than what as humans we think is real. So it seemed logical to me that everybody could see what I was seeing, you know? And it was very additionally confusing that I would say, like, you really don't see Jaguar here. Like, you really can't hear your grandma sitting next to you telling you all this stuff. Like, this is really, and that was like contributing to the confusion. I had to learn, I think, to differentiate and to understand, like, no, like you're seeing and perceiving aspects of this reality that other people within the shared reality with you are not. And once I kind of clicked with that, that is what's opened up to feeling like, okay, I have a path and something to share with others. But I have to first accept that I wasn't insane, first of all, or accept that I was insane, and then just kind of like roll with it in a way that was socially cohesive, you know, claim it. So whichever way. And what I feel now, this is like, I'm not even answering the question you asked me. You're like, what's your...
I forgot what I asked you.
What's your brief intro? Okay. But what I feel now with the journey is it went through these different phases. Like, so first it's just confusion and like, why can't anybody see what I'm seeing? Then it's like, oh my God, everyone's telling me that I'm crazy and to take all these pills. And then I'm like having like maybe like a schizophrenic break and to take all these antipsychotics, and then I'm pumped full of all these meds, which aren't taking the Jaguar away. They're just making me more nauseous and confused and like gaining weight and losing hair and grinding my teeth and like all those other symptoms of all those medications. And we'll talk a little bit later about vaginal steaming and detoxing your gut and your body, and how like my vaginal steam practice helped to like pull, all of the residue of those toxic chemicals that I took into my body during that time, allegedly for the purpose of my mental health, how we can really like steam those out of our root system. But what I feel I learned on the arc, that's that multidimensional healing, is all women go through the same thing. It's not just me. My story is like very theatrical and dramatic, and I'm flying through the air and I'm hit by a car. But we all go through these shifts where we experience the trauma, we process it, we transcend, and then we like make that alchemy of our experience into a new level of expression of who we are. And we may not, or we may like change our name, but we just may change how we're carrying ourselves or what our job is or how we're seeing ourselves internally. But we go through these like death and rebirths and like a different understanding of who you are. And we become more and more intergalactic and multidimensional, I think, as we're going through this like spiritual path through life and awakening. So I think that's beautiful. I do think in a way in the work, I'm like up here coming down from the sky into my grounding. And a lot of my clients are like deeply so grounded and they're just reaching up their arms, trying to touch the sky, and we like intersect in the middle. I'm like reaching down for the grounding and they're like reaching up for that intergalactic feeling. And we help each other and mirror and we heal by like kind of holding hands in that middle space. And that's what the session is. So I think that's beautiful and it heals me every time. But the journey physically of healing was one of moving from like a wheelchair to a walker to a cane to like reading again and like flashcards and learning how to read a clock and telling time, learning when to brush your teeth and like how to eat and how to go to the bathroom, like very simple things. And it was not, I won't want to romanticize it because it was horrible. It was terrifying and it was.
I cannot even imagine. I mean, this is just a crazy story, right? Like for anyone listening, it's number one, you're alive, but even beyond alive, you're like fully functioning at this point. Actually, even probably more than most.
Well, that's what's so beautiful. So a couple of things that are beautiful are like, I still can't really like count well, tell times, understand linear time and numbers. But look, I'm doing my work. So it's like, am I fully functioning? But then, oh wait, I am fully functioning. And that confirms with me. It's like, we don't even need to know how to do those things. I don't think that they're as important as we think they are, because look, I still haven't figured out the things that the occupational therapist was trying to teach me, but I have figured out how to accept my uniqueness and then also create a system where it's allowing me to live and create income within the physical world. So I think that's part of the medicine and the magic that applies to all women. Like
all women, recognizing your unique gift and just putting it out there and not having to be good at everything, right? Because nobody is.
It's kind of like, instead of trying to whittle away the aspects of ourselves that don't match so we can like stuff ourselves into this like square shaped box, just expanding into the wildness of ourselves and discovering that that actually is what we are put on the earth to express. It's the parts that make you different. Those are your juju. That's your medicine. So go more and more into the loving and sharing of your uniqueness, which is often expressed to you in a diagnosis like bipolar, manic depressive. These are the things that are communicating to you what is unique about how you are viewing the world. And instead of looking at them as, quote, handicaps or things that are challenges in how we're navigating life, to look at them as the key that unlocks the door to our magic and our potency and the power that we have to share with others. And when we look into those the attributes that are covered by those labels and like how they are expressed in our own mind and our body and our life, then we find what we're here to share. And then you should just start charging people for it, right? Because it's like,
Right.
This is your uniqueness. This is the unique thing. The other stuff is already out there. We're trying to like shove ourselves into these labels to like create a life and create income or whatever it is that we're feeling that we need to do. But
I mean, that's just so incredibly brave, like, because what you're saying is really not the societal norm, right? And that's what's so special about your message. But, for a woman listening, being like, yeah, maybe I do hear voices or I do see visions and images, like, am I crazy? Well, what is crazy, right? But like, if you're hearing and getting information from these other senses, like, this is such a beautiful gift. And, how would you recommend that woman, like you said, just bring that gift to the world without having shame, embarrassment,
Right. And it's always a journey. So it's not like we'll go like instantly, oh my God, I heard Jaguar on this podcast and she said, be crazy. And then like I threw out all my meds and I just started, running wild through the streets like the voices said. That's definitely not what I'm recommending,
Oh, I like that idea.
Oh no. If that's what you want to do, it's like you've come to the right place. And that definitely is my medicine, like get naked, cover your body in oils and flowers and like run through the streets or whatever. But, it's like, I do recommend it, but I don't. It's like sign the waiver. I recommend it, sign a non-disclosure, non-liability, and then live your life. But I would say like it is a journey, but the most powerful part of the journey, because it's all about where we're facing, is just kind of like turning your body and then beginning to walk in that direction of like towards your light instead of away from it with these things that really, they like silence your light. They silence those voices. If we were raised like in the village in the indigenous way, like from a little baby, they would have seen like what is called our neurodivergence. And like we would have been like taken and then supported by the medicine woman and the shaman and the medicine man and taught how to navigate our gifts so that we could know when to tell the voices to be quiet. And because I need to like work with my baby and like change my baby's diapers and like drive down the freeway to the grocery store or whatever it is, and we would know like the tools that are needed to be able to cohabitate with the multidimensional aspects of our nature. So the reason why we have to like go slow and steady with the journey now is so we're living in this century, whatever number of this century that it is, and we're having practical things that are happening. We have cars, we have, you can't just run into the street because like there's a vehicle there, not a horse, or whatever it is. It's not just like the village path, like paved with clay. You can't just run out into the freeway. So there's like practical aspects to learning how to navigate our juju. But the first step of it is to like shift your perspective. A Course in Miracles, the miracle is a shift in perspective. So once we shift like our perspective towards what is going on, then that in turn can open up those interspaces of all things and give us more information about how to navigate that journey with power and with presence and with gratitude and with grace. And then the magic that will happen, because the sky is a mirror, like Kabbalah says, the sky is the mirror. So because when we change our perspective, we change our prayer, then what will begin to happen on the path is the teachers will come. The teachers will come. And that's how you learn. And then the journey continues. And at a certain point, the teachers have been putting the light into you, putting it into you. Your cup is so overflowing with light that then you will be teaching. You don't need to make a conscious choice to be teaching. It's like if you continue to self-heal, face your shadow, cleanse the shadow, transmute it into light, find like the authenticity of yourself, like talk to yourself with purity, turn and face your monsters and introduce yourself. Ask them what they want to tell you. Have that dialogue, get to know what's going on in your internal landscape. Naturally, you'll just become so full of flowers that your whole auric field will like overflow. Then wherever you are a teacher, because it's your beingness and your presence that leaves like this delicious taste in the mouth of like whoever you touch or hold or smile at or sing to,
Mm. And I do appreciate how you mentioned that it's a journey. I mean, that is really what life is, right? Even your journey seems quite dramatic and like an instantaneous shift. It was still years, right? Like it was like,
Yeah.
boom. Now, looking back, are you grateful for that experience?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, like, I can't not be grateful. You know how it is. You know the game. I can't not be grateful because it's like, what element of the suffering would you remove from the pot, like from the cauldron? It's like you change the whole soup. So it's like, I don't know what to say, because I can't say like, I wish I didn't go through that. Well, because, that led to this, which led to that other thing, which led to, so you just have to eat the delicious soup as it is and continue the recipe.
Yeah, and I appreciate that you like all women have our painful, events, right? It doesn't have to be getting hit by a car, but whatever it is, there's that opportunity for growth and evolution of our consciousness, right?
Yeah.
And that's really what you're speaking to.
What I want women to do is change the way that we are viewing and labeling the events that we are navigating in our lives. It's the perspective that if we just can only, the mind matters most. We just can like only shift our perspective. It's how we're seeing ourselves. It's ultimately a self-love message. That's what I'm saying. It's like, instead of looking at we look through our past and we'll really critique ourselves so strongly. Somebody was talking to me about service, and I was like, women don't need a message of service. This is like kind of maybe controversial to say because they're always like spiritual path to go into service. I don't think any woman needs a message of service. We need to really learn how to self-love and to pull our energy from like, how are you? Are you okay? Are you doing okay? What can I give you? Do you need a cup of tea? Is it cold in here? Should I change the temperature? Should I get you a stroller? Do you need help with the baby? To like go into your body. What are you feeling? Like pull it back in. Like really pull it back in. Pull it back in and let those who are here to support your mission like arise, like pull back into your throne. And I'm so into the vaginal steaming because it's just kind of something that happens in the alchemy of when you do that and go so deep, deep, deep into your actual root space, like actually literally into your root space with the magic of the actual roots of Mother Earth. And something very, for one thing, grounding happens. And that grounding is a very potent medicine for women who are feeling intergalactically pulled, which is to say, hearing voices or like seeing etheric realms or downloading psychic messages. What we all need is the grounding. The grounding is what helps us to navigate the physical realm. And that steam practice, it grounds you down so much, but in a different way than how the medicines do it, which try to ground you from the mind. And this plant medicines, these practices ground you from like within the body. It's like from this root, and the mind also will ground, but it's like getting pulled down literally like through the body from this root space. And at the same time, like that steam practice is keeping the portal open. So it's like cleansing that psychic connection while simultaneously grounding you down to like your feet. Your bare feet will be on the roots, on the ground. Like if you can even steam when you're outside, and it's like your two bare feet are on the ground. You're connecting the root of your body to the roots that you've pulled up from Mother Earth, these plants. You've dried them. You've put them in this bowl. You put the water. And your feet are flat on the earth, and your head is like up. You're squatting. Your head is up to the sky. The whole portal is getting cleansed while you're still grounded. So you're simultaneously holding like that light body and the physicality of this present now moment, that body. And I think there's nothing more potent or powerful that a woman can do. Furthermore, you're in a birthing position because you're squatting. And part of the patriarchal divide and conquer system was to go into our idea of how we birth and just like change it all up and make it this wild, painful, screaming thing. It's like every movie having these like programmings of these like screaming women birthing, laying down. When you see like a birth in a movie, it's just always so dramatic and wild. And she's like, ah! It's just like, it's so gross. And it's actually the literal opposite of birth because it will be really fast and really painful and really loud and wild. And birth is actually really long and slow and drawn out and like, yes, with fluctuations of like deep pain and expansion. But so birthing. And when you're squatting in that position over the bowl, birthing in the squatting position, this is the original position assisted by the gravitational flow, how we would like bring down these babies into the earth. And I find, that would we even poo laying down on a table? It's just like,
we would not. It's ridiculous. No.
So ridiculous and so counterintuitive. And it's all just because some king wanted to see like his sons be born and commanded the midwives to make a table and strap the women down clean so that he could like look at his heirs coming out. And now everything is all twisted and confused. And when we go put our bodies, back on track. When we put our bodies into this squatting position, I feel we are birthing out our reality. Like it's a ritual of prayer and of manifestation, that steam process. And you're in the physical asana, like the posture of birthing. And you're like receiving the plant medicine. And you're in this physical, like prayer, birthing position. And you can like birth out the dreams of your life in a way of being. And I think something very like matrilineal, lineage, ancestral remembrance kind of magic happens when you squat over the bowl. It's like when I articulate or teach about womb steaming, it's like, okay, it sounds maybe a little surreal. I have to maybe, get you all feeling nice before I like implant that new thing into your brain, like we'll sing a song, share, eat some whatever, and then I'll tell you vaginal steaming, but when you actually do it, it just doesn't seem weird at all. It's so intuitive. As a woman, you have a vagina, you have this womb, you go over the bowl and something is like, oh, that makes sense. And then you feel so amazing afterwards and it's like really makes sense. But something about it is intuitively aligned. And then you remember, you feel in your body, like, I feel like my grandma did this or my great grandma did this. Or
because they did. This is not a new fad. This has been around forever. So I want to backtrack a little bit. Let's just explain what is womb steaming for women that have never heard of it.
Good. I like that. Okay. So, womb steaming or vaginal steaming, I like to call it womb steaming. So I stay with that. Most people call it yoni steaming, and yoni is a Sanskrit word for the feminine energetic principle, that which receives and attracts and births. And then steam is, steam. So what you do on a practical level is you have a bowl, you have your dried plants, you would put like a recipe of the plants into the bowl, the boiling water, and I have my specific way that I do it, which involves like a certain type of bowl and also salt and a certain way of interacting with the plants. But just overall, it's like we know we have medicines in the plants, and we know that we can add water to these plants and then take those medicines into our body, because we'll put some lavender in a bath and then we'll get into the bath and we're like, oh, I feel different, Now everybody's into flower baths. You'll put all sorts of flowers into your bath. Then you physically put your body into that bath and you're like, oh, I feel relaxed. I feel calm. The medicine of the lavender is releasing a frequency that's helping my body to feel soothed and calm. Then you're saying, okay, I want to feel calm. What will I drink? I'll have a tea with some lavender and some chamomile, right? The medicine of the lavender, just like in the bath, is entering your body from the inside with the tea and helping you to feel calm and like soothed, You wouldn't drink a black tea if it's evening time and you want to go to bed. You would drink like a chamomile with the lavender. So in the same way with the steaming,
As a mom of a toddler, I know how frustrating it can be when the sun is shining in my child's eyes. We're driving down the road and there's nothing I can do to protect him. I'm just praying that I'm going to be driving by some tree coverage to help, shield that sun from his eyes. And that's why I was so excited to find this product from Baby Trend called Cover Me 4-in-1 Convertible Car Seat. This car seat is amazing. It comes with a innovative and patent-pending integrative canopy that offers height adjustability, ratcheting coverage, and side sun protection to literally create an umbrella and shield that sun from my son's eyes, which is amazing. It's also so cool that this car seat can literally be used from newborn all the way through 100 pounds, which is phenomenal. It just makes the life easier for parents and child. To check it out, go to babytrend.com/OSSA, OSSA, and use the code COVERME20 for 20% off.
Okay, what's another way you can feel calm? oh, I can turn this lavender into an essential oil. And then my olfactory glands, I smell the lavender and it's the same frequency. I also feel soothed and calm. That's interesting. So the lavender plant has a consistent message. It's medicine. It's like, I am here to calm down your body, soothe you. It's also actually an antibacterial, but like to soothe you and calm you and make you feel calm. Okay, great. So what happens when we steam? Our most absorbent tissues as a woman are in your vaginal floor. So if you have a vagina, then in your vaginal floor, those are the tissues of your body that are absorbing the most. So what is your body telling you in that message? It's telling you that everything that's going on, the most potent area in your whole body, it's your vagina. You're absorbing everything up in there as you walk through the day. If you live in the city, the toxins of the city, like the intensities of your interactions, all of that, your most absorbent area is your vaginal floor. Okay. So it's like everything is like getting transmuted and processed in that specific area. Cool. So when you combine the plant medicines with the most absorbent part of your body, then that message of the lavender goes in like boom, pow. You know what I mean? It's like straight to it. When it's going into your body with the tea, it's just dispersing and like going like through and you're feeling calm. When it's going into your body through the organ of your skin, it's like going in through your pores, you're also feeling calm. When it's entering your body through your vaginal floor, it's just like, oh my gosh, you feel so calm. You feel me?
It's just really potent. It gets right into your bloodstream.
It gets right into your bloodstream. So that's like the one layer. And there's always levels to the game, right? But just the one basic understanding of what is happening when you steam is you're integrating the plant medicine through the most absorbent part of your body. So you're having a very potent and powerful experience of what the messages are within the plants. In addition, you're heating up the root of your body and you're bringing the tension of your white blood cells down to your womb space. So then the body, which naturally always wants to heal itself, begins to say like, oh, and they start like sending out the little messages of healing to like whatever needs to happen down there. And that is a layer of also what is happening when you're steaming. In addition, you're getting the essential oils that are coming up with the steam into your body. So it's like you're getting this essential oil treatment in your vaginal floor. And with the heat and the detoxification, you're toning and tightening your vaginal floor. So if you've ever had a baby, or just like any woman, like we're in our 30s, 40s, 50s, you're steaming your vagina. You're kind of like setting her back into place. Now, if we had started in the village way after our first moon, our first menstrual cycle, that's when we would learn to steam. And we would be steaming like a certain number, 3 to 5, typically days after your period is complete, just in a regular rhythm. You'd be squatting down. A couple of things happen from that. A couple of effects will then happen from that root cause. One would be every time you have sex with that weird guy, you would then steam him out after, right? You wouldn't be stacked. You wouldn't have like 10 men stacked up inside your vagina. By the time you get to your husband, you're trying to navigate out all of these voices. And a really common anesthetic that happens in the individual sessions is I'm like, for you to connect with your husband, you need to take Bob, John, and like Harry out of your vaginal floor so that like your partner can like fully actually enter and access you. Then the experience of your pleasure becomes so potent, right?
The energetic of those other weird guys is gone. I had a roommate that was like, broke up with this weird guy and was like, oh, I wish I could have a vagina transplant.
Exactly.
She doesn't need a vagina transplant. She needs to womb steam.
All she needs is yarrow. Yes, exactly. Like we're medicine women. We've already made up the answers to these questions, you know? Like when you look, like it's already there. It's like, come on. Like years and years of being on this planet. And something else I like about the womb steaming is like in days of appropriation and everybody very sensitive about stealing the juju of the other lands. When you look like throughout like different cultures, you find whatever it's called, like a chayok, a bajo, a vaginal steam, a peristeam, a yoni steam, some type of way where we landed, daughters of the earth. We looked around us and we thought, how do we interact with the plants, right? We have these different orifices in our body. How can we put the plants like into our body? And in every cultural, in every like First Nations, in these root indigenous cultures, you find some type of practice where we're putting our root, our vaginal floor in connection with the plants. And like getting like a sitz bath or the steam. It's like we know cognitively like to get like the roots of these herbs like up into our body and that it can benefit us. And I think that contributes to why with these Mother Earth practices, when I teach, like I'm a woman of color, African, South American, Caribbean descent, when I'm teaching the practice and every woman of all the different colors, they go down over the bowl and they're like, oh, I feel like my great grandma did this. And it's yes, she did. No matter your color. Yes, she did it. So that's why you take the practice and you like really feel like an ownership of it. Not like you're doing this practice from another people that you learn. It's like, this is your own. It's your own womb space, your own lineage, and your own matrilineal healing that arises when you do the practice. Do you feel me? And I just think that's like so powerful and potent during these times. It's just amazing. And I just tell us to like go down over the bowl with this sense of authority, sovereignty, and ownership. And that is part of what, as women, we need to activate. This connects to what I'm saying, which we don't need more service frequency. We need to remember that we're queens. We need to remember our royal bloodline so that all that is here to serve us can arise and we can live the life of ease that actually allows us to genuinely and authentically be in service, not in unhealthy codependent relationships with our reality and those around us, Oh yeah.
That is so true. As women, we kind of like are constantly serving, right? And that's my theme of this podcast is mama self-care, especially women that are mothers. How do you serve yourself and take care of yourself first?
Yes. And I'll say something for the mothers. It's like, if you've had a baby come out of your vagina, if you've had a C-section even too, if you've experienced that shift, this is such a potent time to steam in terms of like releasing, if you've had a vaginal birth too. And in the Caribbean, in the indigenous way, you would like really right away, get that steam in there to close up your. Well, in the Western way, it's 6 to 8 weeks that you should wait. But like in the Caribbean way, it's right away. Like you get in the bath with the plantain leaves and it's like you close everything up. And I really feel it helps. Like, as a mother, I feel that as a mother, something that we don't recognize often in the West is like you're entering into this phase and you're grieving the phase that you left. It's like on so many layers. The baby has come out of your belly, and then your second baby, the placenta, has left your belly. So you've given like this double birth. Every woman is birthing these twins. Then there's this void within your body, which is so intense. You're also releasing your whole identity as a maiden, and now you've moved to mother. So it's like one of those it's like a death rebirth experience as you're rebirthing. And automatically you need to go into caring for this other being when you're processing so much of what you're doing on your own. So this is really the time when the plants can help us because Mother Earth is the mother of us all. And when you become a mother, that's when you need your mother. Like I noticed too as a doula, and even women when you're like, you have the worst relationship with your mother. But then when you're in labor, it's like, where's my mom? Like, I want to see my mom. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's this most intimate relationship, really. I mean, it's so special.
Yeah. So the steaming and the plants can really help us. So if you want to feel safe 6 weeks, but I'll steam you way before. And I think like it just helps to like really pull out and clean. Like it's like a lot will really come out. Like discharge will release. Like all women, like we have little fibroids and things that happen. They come and go. With the steam, they kind of like go into like little white discharge and they kind of like just come out of your body with ease. It can help to just kind of clean things out. It's also going to help to like restore that. It's that tone and tighten. So it's going to help to restore your vaginal floor to like kind of like the size and potency that she was, which we need help on that path if we've had a vaginal birth.
Right.
Also,
just get it back.
Just kind of like get it all back. It's also going to help you because this is like, no matter what kind of birth you had, C-section, you adopted your baby, you had a vaginal birth, whatever it is. When you go into that mother phase, there's that level of like sexuality that sometimes like comes down because you're like focusing on like baby now. You're not really wanting to hanky panky all the time. So I do feel like your vaginal steam saves your partnership at that time too, because it kind of like turns her back on, I think all the things that when we focus on
sensuality
opens up your sensuality. It literally turns her back on. It like click, it flips the switch back on. The jasmine, the lavender, the calendula, the rose petals, rose hips, hibiscus, you get your little sensuality back in there. And she's like, oh yeah, that's what I like to do.
That is so cool. I know so I've actually never thought about using it after birth. This is kind of a new thought for me, but I have women in my office that are having dysmenorrhea, painful, heavy periods, and I'll recommend steaming to help really like just loosen that uterine lining that's kind of stuck and it's like old and like black. And that's all these cramps are coming from that uterus trying to push out that old lining, right? So steaming is great for that as well.
Yes, it's great for all of the things. And the thing that this is like really important part of what I'm wanting to communicate in my contribution to the realm of like womb steaming and yoni steaming is I don't feel that there is one concept called steaming. It's that they're the plants, right? And each woman at each time will need a certain alchemy of plants to deal with whatever is the energetics that are needing to happen with you, like at that time. That's why I say like, you won't drink a black tea if you want to go to bed, you know? And I think like, I'm finding that we're like, oh yeah, I need a steam. And you just like put some herbs. No, it's like, it doesn't work like that. For that reason, I don't sell even yoni steams. People always ask about this. I don't. I do a consultation and then I will create like the blend that you are needing at that time. And then you get it in the mail and you can steam with it, you know? And it's really, really important because even same use, same body at a different time, you'll need different plants put together in a different way to create the effect that you need. It's alchemy. It's not like just like you steam and then boom. It's like, oh, maybe you need some yarrow, but then maybe that other lady needs raspberry leaf, you know? Mixed with motherwort, mugwort, and some wormwood and a touch of oregano because something really funky is going on. But then this lady is grieving and she needs rose petals and she needs hawthorn to heal her heart, you know, and she needs the lavender and the rosemary. But then this lady is going through a breakup, you know, so she needs yarrow to like pull that guy out of her vagina, you know, and then she needs like a pinch of jasmine to like awaken her sensuality. So it's like that. And when we get into that relationship with it, we also, it's like you'll do the session with me and then I like to explain to you what I'm doing. So you can be like, okay. And as opposed to becoming addicted to getting Jaguar Womban sessions, although you can join the nation and steam with me once a month. Okay, but we'll talk about that later. But like, as opposed to getting addicted to my sessions, I want you to understand conceptually the relationship that I'm inviting you to have with the plants. So you'll think like, okay, what's going on with me? I need a steam. What do I need? I need to relax. What can help me relax? Some calendula. You feel me?
Yeah.
Put those right herbs into your bowl and then like sink in that way, you know?
So I appreciate you clarify that because it is really like a very individualized, customized herbal protocol that somebody might take, like the supplements, right? Like you don't take the same supplements your whole life. You take what you need at that moment for whatever's going on, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of those. It's holistic. And it's selecting the specific herbs that your womb essentially needs at that moment based on your life circumstances, which do change and do evolve. So even let's talk about postmenopausal women. They have vaginas too. I mean, you work with them as well and help with
all the women. I'll only tell you not to steam if you are, okay, so if I'm doing like a fertility series, I have a lot of women who come to me for fertility because I have 100% success with getting the ladies pregnant. And it's like, not me, I mean the practice, but me with the practice. Hey! Okay, but so like, it's like then you'll need to, it is downloading the protocols. So my sessions are called TEAsessions, Total Energy Alignment. And when we talk, and now even I do it virtually, then you'll just get the link at the end to like get your herbs in the mail. But what will come through with spirit is like the recipe, the plant medicine potion. It's like plant medicine potion poem. And it'll be like mugwort, motherwort, yarrow, calendula, dong quai, some ginger, lemon peel, oregano, like really specific like that, a piece of cinnamon bark. And it's like, okay. And then it will say, use this recipe 3 times in this lunar cycle. At the new moon, at the half moon, at the full moon, you steam like that. That's the protocol. It will be specific for whatever you're going through, you know? So it's like the time I used to say don't steam on your period, but now it has come through in the channel sessions and it has really helped women who have very, very intensely painful periods. I will consistently, I notice, tell them to steam right as they're bleeding over the bowl. And it's like the herbs are entering into creating like a new neuron pathway that is kind of breaking up the rhythm of the pain, you know? Like something like some calendula, some lavender, some chamomile, and a little like St. John's wort, those kind of St. John's wort plant that are sending like serotonin messages into the brain. So you can kind of like, so really it's very unique and nuanced and there is a time for everything. But yes, specifically menopause is a time when you need to be steaming. This is when the Western system is wanting to pump you full of hormones that will set like a whole series of calamities often that start happening in your body. And the womb steam time is a time that you're also reminding your vagina of like her cyclical nature. Because part of the jarring effect of losing the bleeding, the moon cycle, is we're like, ooh, out of cycle. So it can benefit women in menopause to be like, okay, I'm going to steam every full moon with this recipe, you know? Also, I'll give you like, you know, some motherwort or like don't cry or like something that's going to help you with your level of estrogen, etc.
So Jaguar, you would start working with a woman as a teenage girl, let's say, right? After her first menses all the way for the rest of her life.
Yeah, her whole life. There's always a steam for no matter what you're going through.
Whatever's going on.
It's like if I do red tents where I do when the girls come together when they've had their first moon and I teach them to steam them and then I love it. And then we have, it's like a
That's so cool.
And then your mom comes at the end for your graduation and then you like tell her or whatever and they get a little certificate and I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love these red tents. It's the full moon birthings and it also helps them go into that rhythm of their blood cycle, which with like an excitement. And it's also a time when something weird, quote unquote, has already happened with their body. So you can like very easily sneak in all of the magic, right? Because it's already like, whoa, now my vagina is bleeding. And I'm like, yes, because it is a portal for power and prayer. And you can steam with the herbs. And you know, like get them when they're young.
Yeah. It's totally shifting the cultural beliefs we have as women around periods, right? And getting rid of that shame and all the other yuck that goes with it and celebrate this fertility, right?
Yes. We want to stay fertile. I talk about this a lot in my sessions, whether or not you want to have a baby, you know, whether or not you're straight or queer or whatever it is that you're identifying as, we want to stay fertile in our frequency because that fertility, it's like that honey in your field, that it's making it so that the prayers and the things you are calling in, when they arrive to you, they stick. Because y'all know, you'll pray a prayer, you'll ask for this thing to happen, then it's like it happened, and then it just like ruined my whole life, and everything turned into disarray. Like, why? What I want us to learn how to do is like lubricate the passageway so that our dreams just like slip down on coconut oil and like juju into our reality and like incorporate like in a seamless way into the life that we're living. Not like I met the love of my life, but he was married and had kids and then I was a homewrecker and then whatever, so I could be with my twin flame. This is not the way. This is not the way. We're not to bludgeon our lives with this masculine energy and create so much karma and destruction. We need to pray in our feminine frequency and receive and attract and stay sticky with the fertility of like our honey and like stickiness around us. So our dreams come and they just like stay and they're like, it's all lubricated. It's like, boom, and like, we want to stay in that. Yeah.
I love that energetic. And I think, you know, what I really appreciate is you're talking women that are looking fertility for pregnancy, right? Actually getting pregnant, but also what about fertility as women birthing a new project, a new career, a new not new life's purpose, but just going deeper into our life's purpose.
Exactly. It's what I want women to understand, that the fertility is a frequency, you know, and part of the control, that part of the whole message, it's like, was our birth. Like, it's like that patriarchy, divide and conquer. It all went to the birth because it's like the way that you're birthing and then that concept of birth control. Don't get me started because it's like a whole other podcast that we'll have to do with Jaguar's rant about birth control. But the code is in the words, birth control. It's like when we have to understand our own sovereignty over our womb space and our body, and at least entertain in your mind the notion that without a pill made by a man, you would be able to control whether or not a soul latches into your womb space, becomes a human life, and is birthed out of you, you know? Like,
wow.
Just like, think about it. What if you actually didn't need a pill to do that because you could do it on your own? But then what would you need the patriarchy for? So it's like, we have to like think about those things, but just the word.
Oh my God. Jaguar, we have to wrap up the end of this podcast, or we could talk forever. So, what are your last thoughts you want to share? I know everyone needs to know to go to your website, Wombnation. They can schedule their tea session. I did one with you. It was amazing. So, this is what's available. If I had a daughter, I would totally be all over this red tent ceremony. That's awesome.
And also I can do the virtual session, same like with your daughter, and like 13 teenagers, they're not what they used to be. I'm 42, so I'm just like, kids, they're just really so advanced these days. They're just coming out of the womb really intergalactic, like really aware more than us. They have a lot to teach us. And I am happy to do sessions with everyone. What I would say is I did just launch my vaginal steam subscription system called Wombnation. You can subscribe and then you'll receive your monthly womb steam, which is based on the energetics of the month. And I sit, meditate, and download the plant recipe. It'll just come automatically to you in the mail, and then you'll get a link for a Zoom, and you can steam with me every new moon. And if the new moon time doesn't work as a member, you'll get that link and you can watch it at any time and like steam along with me. And that is about synchronizing us as womb carriers all around the world. There's women steaming with me in Berlin, in Istanbul, in Dubai, like East Coast, West Coast. It's really amazing. And we're all steaming to this matching plant medicine recipe at the same time of the month. So we're syncing womb to each other, and then to the cycles of the moon, and then to the roots of Mother Earth. And I really feel that we're going to birth a whole new Earth and change the whole planet by doing this. So I'm really excited about it. And also it makes everything really seamless for your self-care. You don't need to book a session with me every time. If you just are kind of like having just standard life you're living and you're wanting to have a womb steam practice, don't think about it. Just have it sent to you in the mail and then steam your vagina. It's like, boom, and you have the chance to connect with me on that live call. Like right now, it's less than 20 women that I have. I just started. So it's like on the call, you can ask me questions and you're like, oh, I'm going through this, Jag. Should I change the herb or what should the And it's like really sweet. We're forming a little community. So Wombnation is what I'm super excited about. And if anyone feels called to have an individual tea session for their total energy alignment, you just write it into the wait list. The wait list allows me to kind of read your intention before so that I can kind of tap in and start feeling into what you're needing. And then you just talk to me. It's a 1-hour session. And as you talk and say whatever you want to say, I start getting the recipe and ritual that you need, and then you get it sent to you and you can steam. If you're in the LA area, I also do in-person steams where I can come to your house and do a house call. And if I do a house call, then you get like big juju, because I might make you a bath and like put you in the bath, and I'll give you the energy work, Thai yoga body work, and I'll steam you, and like whatever happens. I have trained in lots of different things. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
That sounds awesome. And yes, I do recommend every woman listening, whether you're trying to get pregnant, just gave birth, crazy busy mother, taking care of little ones, scheduling that individual session is very powerful.
And I love doing it. I love our session. It's like, it's a special gift. And then I don't think it's something that you need to feel like you need to do a session with Jag every month. I feel like you get that one. How did you feel?
Yeah, I think I'm interested in doing the monthly now. So I kind of get into that, empowering ritual. But I do think you're right. Like you kind of get the download and then that's just the maintenance.
Yeah. And then you just keep it flowing. And that's what I want. I prayed about it because I feel this strong message from spirit that my work is to connect every womb. And then it gets so big that sometimes I'm just in bed crying and feeling the weight of it all. And I pray for lightness on the path and for joy. And the subscription system is something that the download came to help me realize, no, you can do it in a more simple way. I can't literally do an individual with every womb on the planet,
Right.
But it was from a place of real authentic love and purity that I wanted to do that. like release the ego. You're not God of the vagina, Jaguar. You need to have everybody help you. So it's I give you the session and then you tell all your clients to steam. And that is the juju reaching every womb,
Yeah.
So that was a beautiful realization I had recently that's brought a lot of peace to my heart. Yeah. So anyways, I love you. Thank you for having me here.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for your gift.
Yeah. Lots of love.
Wow, this was probably one of the most fun podcast episodes I've done. And it's just, all thanks to Jaguar's amazing energy and outlook on life. It's so inspirational. And like I mentioned in the podcast, I actually did a private tea session with her. Highly, highly recommend it if you have a womb, whether you're looking to make a baby or you're recovering from birth, or you're just a woman who's looking to birth the next thing and use your creative expression through your womb to do that. She's amazing. And I also want to ask, if you are enjoying and liking this podcast, please like and review it. We're looking to grow our exposure and have more women know about Well-Adjusted Mama. So thank you.